here, and then you have the 41.20 and then 41.50. A lot of people are going to be playing that 41 break to 41.50 because they're probably not aware of that VPOC that's sitting there. So nothing really changed on ES. So I would.
This is Dave. He realized getting internet from.
We'll just check to see if there's. I mean, there's a level here that's, especially this one here. You guys see that one? This one's going to carry some importance here. Yeah, this one's going to be pretty important level, 415. So I would say if we break this to the short side, I would wait for 40.40 to break. You could catch 25 points easy. I mean, almost risk-free that it's going to drop there. So I would definitely play this. I mean, we have this nice, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had it kind of up here previously, but it's not giving me a lot of confluence there. So, and then we have a VPOC at 40.60. This long level here will probably be tested, I would say, maybe tonight or tomorrow morning. It's a critical level that we hold. If we go below it, 47, and you see here as well, we went below it. Look what we did. Came back, rejected it, and then we kind of kept bouncing up that trend line. So I would definitely watch this tomorrow. So if we break, I would say probably today's POC is at 495 now. You really have to wait now on a 4100 break or potentially rejection at that point. Otherwise, it's kind of choppy here, as you guys saw the daily candle. So not much changed here. And I expected a bigger volatility move, to be honest, today, based off the speakers and what they're trying to say. At least to me, they sounded a little bit more bearish than bullish, but maybe that's just my bias. Okay. So I would not be shocked if we come back and retest this trend line here. And then if there is momentum to the upside, tomorrow's POC or this line that we have of 12,556 can be your long entry. And also this could be your short entry tomorrow if you see the weakness coming into the POC. So you could break above it or wait for this POC if it stays there, right? Because this is a developing POC. Doesn't mean it's going to stay there. There's a high chance that this is going to shift. As you guys know, the nodes are going to be moving as the volume's coming in. So, and this is pretty low volume, but it looks to be what shape here? So far, we have the P shape here. We have the B shape, P shape, and then whatever this shape is in the middle. But here you are. I think this could be a P shape, which kind of indicates what?
Upside.
So it can indicate upside, but when the volume is solely concentrated on the P shape on the top side, that means a strong supply. Usually you will get a sell-off of strong supplies. So if you look at this one here, you see how well this supply is held. It came back, resold, came back, resold. That means that there's a seller that's kind of stuck here to trying to offload his position. And every time it comes to it, he sells. And this time he tried to sell, but it seems like, that one guy or whoever that is, or multiple hedge funds, that they've emptied out their shares. They're no longer interested in selling, and maybe the new buyers are looking to take over. So that's pretty much how I look at it on volume profile. Qs, did anyone play Qs today? Because it was pretty beautiful the way they played. Let me see. We do have a VPOC here, which is good. Let's see these levels. 303. We were above 306. That was our note left. So, I mean, if it holds this tomorrow, almost went to 30 seconds here. I don't even want to see it. Today it was so boring for people that were not live. It was watching paint dry today.
It was really sad day.
There was some plays. I think we caught SPX, right? I mean, but overall, it was just
Yeah, like except that play in the morning, I guess it was like pretty dry.
I think we caught that one right before. I think it was 12ish. The puts that we caught, and besides that, it was pretty shitty day to trade. So let me see what we got here on Qs. Did any levels change? Let me go back 30 minutes. So nothing really changed. I mean, we're covering this POC here. You can delete this if you're not. This POC is there. The 306 is there as well. So honestly, I mean, as long as if we go above and come back, watch for the retest on 306 to go to 309. If it breaks on 5 minutes below 306, you can definitely short it to 304. Pretty much free money. And then, if we break 303, short it to 301, scale out, and then roll your profits in, because you do have a VPOC here. You guys see it. So I'm not removing this one because it was a nice demand so far, but there is a VPOC here about 298.37. That probably will be tested sooner or later here, maybe even tomorrow. And our future's up or down?
I haven't looked at anything.
They're down by like 15%, 0.15.
So that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So SPY, I mean, if you were on Watchlist a couple of days ago, does anyone recall what we said? Like what to do? If 306 was broken, 406 in this case, 306 on Qs, we said go long and you can make some money, right? So 406 to 408, guys, that's a pretty good trade. I mean, if you grab like 409s or any of those closer strikes and you don't want to play too far out, especially when it's volatile like this, you can make a decent percent. Like even if you grab one contract, and you keep a tight stop trailing stop loss here, you can make a decent amount of money on this move here. I mean, on SPX, this is probably a couple of 100%. So hopefully you guys are trusting yourself, right? When we look at these levels, and it's not only about Shorty, telling us the levels, but it's why is this level important? And then did the entry work? You see here, they trapped you. You probably could have made money here. 406.39 to 407. I think majority of the people in this Discord would have been out on this candle. And I'm speaking for majority because I know the way we are trading and how we take profits. SPX would have given you a dollar move here. So that's $100 in your pocket, right? So there's no reason not to, if your account's 5K and you play contracts, you do 20% of your account of 5,000. I mean, that's pretty good chunk, 1,000 per contract. You put a tight stop loss, let's say 20%, 200 stop loss, or something like that, whatever that case might be for you, maybe 10% to 20%. And you look for your reward, right? Maybe it's 5 and 10%, whatever that is, you want to double it. But this was a good play today, honestly. This was on SPX, that was the only play that we took besides what I swung on selling puts. Somehow, I guess I got lucky on that one. So tomorrow I will look for this VPOC to be tested here. And I would buy some calls off of this VPOC for a nice scalp, even on SPX here. Let's see, I'm just going to delete some of these zones because these are like your confusing. I want to make sure that I'm not missing something on like 4 hours. Okay, I mean, now you guys probably see where we're headed, right? Does everybody understand where we're going? Okay, so we're most likely going to reject here between 410 and 411.87. We have 411.87. Most people, I would say, have the 410 level. The reason why is they like to trap people, right? So, and if we know the 411.87 is the level of rejection, then you really can't trap us. I mean, if you know where you're headed, and this is the level where you're headed. So we'll see tomorrow how we play out, but pretty sure they want to tap this right here. Okay, everybody's favorite. Let's see. So you have Tessie here. Not a VPOC, but that's going to be a pretty good level on it for rejection. So let's see what tomorrow happens, right? If it breaks this 769, I mean, it has about a $14 move to 783, which is a nice previous supply here if you guys look at it. So it got rejected there before. Over that, we have 803. Over 803, we have 861. And this, if it pops here over this, there's a high chance you're going to get a short squeeze, and that it would go. So right now, if you look at it, right, does anyone see what this is still? I know I'm asleep, but I don't know all of you guys are asleep.
Is that a bear flag?
Lower lows.
Okay, so we have higher lows, lower highs coming off a major sell-off. So this looks like a bear pennant, right? So if you think about it, from here to here, this looks like a bear pennant. Is it, fairly large? Yeah, but let me go on like 2 hours. What about now? So now you see, right? If you're, getting close to a rejection here, it would make sense because that would be the top of this trend line that we just adjusted for this candle. It really could reject here and go all the way down 675 because this level has to be retested one more time. So we'll see how that plays out. So honestly, not much changes on the levels, and I did not expect it. I thought that we were going to be giving higher moves in the market based on the volatility and what they're going to say, but we'll see tomorrow if the digestion of the news kind of takes over. And then also, what's going to play a role is, what's coming up. Does anyone know? You have to be aware of what kind of contracts are coming up. Does anyone know what is around the corner?
Isn't it the quad breaching or something?
Your monthly expirations are coming up, right? So May, I believe, is it May 20th? Yeah, I think May 20th is the monthly, yeah. And those are also the AM expirations. So on SPX, if you're swinging monthlies, better make sure you close it the day before, so you don't wake up with your account being wiped to zero on those contracts. And let me see when is the Vix Monthlies real quick. So Vix Monthlies are May 18th, so that's tomorrow. So Vix Monthlies expire tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'm promising you're going to have a lot more volatility than today. So that's going to be interesting. AMD, I think AMD literally played by the rules since we've talked about it. If you guys remember, we talked about the double bottom that we had. Our initial target is 110 actually. So I'm expecting another $10 move, or I guess a little less. I didn't know it went to 103 here perfectly. Wow. Did you guys see that? Right there. 2 times we hit it. So we have a double top of a decent supply zone. This is nothing in terms of heavy. So if you look at your 30 minutes on VPSV, I would say this is not the heaviest supply zone. If we're able to break it, I would expect around about 108. So, if we break this, you have the psychological 105, which would be somewhere around here, I guess, 106-ish. Then you have kind of a run to 110. I do expect a run to 110. And just think about it mathematically. If a lot of people bought this at 85s and it goes to 110, I mean that's a pretty good return, guys. That's almost what that'll be about 30%. 85 to 110, so about 30% return is pretty good money, in the investment. Okay. Okay, so AMD, nothing really changed here. We just have a VPOC now at 95. So this 96.37, you can definitely leave it there, but I would just take the demand off, and this becomes your level here on it. And that would be our VPOC. And the VPOCs are for new people. If you're not familiar with volume profile, the Dale book that we have tagged in under our book section, you should definitely read that. And then we'll hold a class a little bit more intuitive. I should hold a class on volume profile for everyone. Whether you're new or old, I'll bring in pretty much everything I know about volume profile in probably like 2-3 hour session. We're going to cover that in detail. So you guys, when you look at these volume profiles, so you know what they mean. Whereas the mini POCs are the break-even zone. So that way you guys are not, when we speak or chat, so that way it's not news to you. So that way you're like, oh yeah, we're speaking about B-shaped, P-shaped POCs, the demand supplies, rejections, VH, VAH, VALs, a lot of stuff, but just to explain how you can trade it and, what does it mean to you. So we'll cover that. Probably Sunday we can do a class and maybe do a 2 hours. I can send the PowerPoint probably by Friday on what we can cover. And then you guys, if you have questions off of the PowerPoint, we can make sure we get it answered during the session. See if that helps some folks. Okay, so let's watch AMD on the break of this. Probably everybody's watching this 103.23 tomorrow, so a lot of people use 10 or 15 minutes. There is a nice little break-even zone where it can explode from, but you want to take it at least above the high of the day where it had a double top, or let it break, retest, and then go. Okay. I think Amazon had a lot of buyers today. Oh yeah, here we go. You guys see the volume slowly creeping in. There's another creepy there. They're trying to squeeze some volume, but they're leaving stuff behind. So let's see. They're leaving some POCs. So that's no longer VPOC. Let's see what we got here. All right, so if somebody wants to cover, what would you expect the scenarios to be here? How would we prep for long or short here? There's no wrong answer, guys. So you're welcome to speak and speak your mind. That's the only way you're going to learn.
Did you say
don't
so?
do it, how would you play this? I mean, what would be the idea that we do here on Amazon? Like, how do we? What do you guys see?
You can short on the retest towards downside, and if it breaks it, you can just wait for the retest.
I would expect it to go up to the resistance and reject, bounce off the trend line.
You could definitely see that. This trend line is going to be like a springboard. So if you do short it here, your first exit is the approaching of the trend line. If the trend line breaks, then you use the VPOCs below or under it, whether it's a POC, like let's say it breaks here tomorrow. So what is that, 23.63? This level here is no longer level. So if you look at it, right, so I mean, right now, I would say it's in the rising wedge, right? If you guys look here. So it's in a rising wedge, and it meets kind of here perfectly into a supply around 23.41 to 23.50. So for newer people, you cannot treat support and resistance as a single line, right? So that's why we look for the volume profile. And for instance, here you guys see that, you know, I'm trying to see where the volume is on this one. I'm basically looking, let's say, for like 15% around this volume area to be my demand zone. So if you go into your style and you go here, you can change this value area volume to, let's say, if you change it to 25%, then only the 25, well, what happened here? Did I click something? Oh, I unchecked it. So if you click the 25%, it'll just highlight the 25% of the bars, which tells you the highest volume around the POC or the day. During the day, the highest volume occurred right here in this price range. And this seems to be pretty high number, right? 30%. Usually you want to, not here, here you want to keep it to about 15% if you're going to be using that. And this will be your kind of like your demand zone around it. And usually this will respect enough on the bounces and rejects, as you guys saw a couple of times earlier. It will respect it enough that you can rely on it heavily. So here you guys see now, I think we had a couple of levels here and multiple lines. There's the red one. There's the red one here. Let me just make sure I have these marked, because this one here is fairly important. And this should be our bounce area on Amazon. And you guys see that, right? Every time Amazon left this area, it kind of came back to visit it here. You know, every time it went over it, it kind of came back. And here it popped, it gapped up. I think it went almost 20. Yeah, this is the first day when it went. It came back right to it. And look, now it took that area out. So it changed the character here on 5 minutes as well. Let me see, 45 minutes. Yeah, it even changed it here. So tomorrow we'll probably have a big test here around 23.81. If we break the 23.41, there's a high chance we kind of push higher. My ultimate target would be about 25.35. Hanson, for I usually seem to have better luck treating the area from the edges of my POCs. Yeah, there you can definitely do that. That's what I as well. You guys see me doing that as well. When I see the volume profile, I look for a good deviation or standard deviation on the volume profile and grab it. I was just testing this and see how it works, if it makes more sense, if it's more accurate. And it's been hitting pretty well so far. So, okay. What other tickers do you guys have? Anyone? I still think we're, you know, tomorrow is the day to make a move if they're going to make a move. So tomorrow might be a trending day. You know, I don't know if it's going to be up or down, but it definitely looks like it's going to be a trending day tomorrow based on the, you know, volatility and what we know about the OPEX on VIX, that it's expiring tomorrow. So tomorrow I would save some buying power, but a lot for later in the day, because later in the day they'll probably expose their hands on the VIX and what they're doing with VIX. So I would definitely save some BP for later in the day between 3 and 4 as they start rebalancing their hedging positions. So yeah, this looks pretty good too. I feel like the banks have been lagging a little bit here. I would watch this over 315 tomorrow on Goldman Sachs. It looks pretty good. Do you guys see anything here interesting, or just anyone see anything here? On. Somebody's got to see it. Yep, exactly, Richie. I know you see it. You're pretty good with the patterns. Yep, so you have an inverse head and shoulders here, guys. So it's a highly probable setup that you have. So this is your inverse head and shoulders. And what do you do to get the levels? You will grab it from the head to the line, to your neckline. This will give you a percentage, right? This little measuring tool. It gives you 7.24%. So on the break of this, see where's 7.24. I'll never get it right. I got it. Oh, believe in yourself. So 338 would be the level there. Check. Oh God, yeah. So there's a VPOC here. There's a VPOC here. There's a VPOC. This is a congested one here. This is a strong supply. I would expect the banks to start running. The only thing I'm afraid of is the leverage the banks are in right now. If, you know, if you think about it, right, the middle class and low income class is pretty much the only thing that runs this country. If you're squeezing them, they're maxed out on credit cards. They, you know, you're killing their disposable income and then inflation and, you know, everything else that's kind of taking the money away, called the invisible hand. Even though it sounds like the banks will profit more money from having, you know, higher interest rates, they could also be defaulting on some loans because people can't pay the loans. And, you know, most people would pick food over paying a loan. So something to keep an eye on, and that's something, you know, what happened in 2008, but it's a different variation of what could happen here. It could be truly people foreclosing heavily on houses soon, because we did have the COVID protection as well, if you guys recall, on tenants. So, and I think that's gone. So if this probably rejects here, if there's a high chain it's going to reject, or if it breaks, then we have our levels here, and this would be a really strong area of resistance here at 323. So it's a pretty good level to be playing against on this GS. So I have three, let's see this one here. 313. I don't see, maybe my levels are different. I see 310 as a double. I see 311 and I see 312, 19, but I don't see it as a triple. There is maybe a triple here around 314, 315 on TV. Are you using TOS, Richie? Maybe that's why. The variance. Oh, okay. So they're approaching a rejection here. Does everybody know what jets are? Not a football club. Oh, look at this guy. Whoa, look at this. Okay, this is a really interesting chart. Oh, doesn't even know what we should do here, or fairly hard one, huh? Yeah, guys, this would be something you want to watch tomorrow. A lot of interest. If we're able to break this low of the day here, I mean, we have a VPOC at 49.05, like right here. See if we get a rejection and work kind of with VIX, right? See if it's telling any signs along with that, and get some calls here. But if that breaks, guys, I don't think they'll be able to break this 47.26. This demand zone here is pretty strong. There's a lot of buyers here, and this would be the first retest of a major run that we had here from 47 to 60, call it 3. So, I mean, that's a pretty good run, and this would be probably a nice retest. Bottom trend line kind of approaching. If it comes up to here, I'll definitely keep an eye on SQQ tomorrow. And if we check SQQ, which is your bearish mode, and then here's your bullish one. So we had a nice rejection here, 42.45. It still has a little bit of room. It has about $2 left to run. So if that's the case, if this has $2 left, $2.30, and if this one rests $2.30, where does this put it? You guys see that? Does everybody see that? There you go. Let's see it. It puts it right here into that demand zone, 47.58, right around here. We will get it a bounce somewhere. So that means SQQ would be coming into a demand zone, and TQQ would be going where? Into a major VPOC supply zone. So it's something that you want to pay attention to, and this could be an easy short here, along with the SQQ being long. So we'll definitely watch this. Let me see, how big is this? 33.14. So you could definitely play this long. If you want to play 33.42 break, all the way to 35.30, that's probably a good money on this. It's probably like, $2 almost, $1.90. I'll definitely watch this tomorrow. All right, what else do you guys have?
Apple, United Airlines.
Did I draw these levels? Let me just remove this. Let's start off with the weekly. I haven't traded. Oof. What happened here? Was there like earnings or? Something happened where they dumped it.
Isn't that the COVID crash?
Oh, it is. I was looking. I thought I was not looking that far. Yeah, that is March. I thought I was closer. That's a big draw. I mean, we've never even come close to the COVID highs.
That's funny. I didn't realize that was COVID either. I was like, wow, that's random. There's no earnings or anything.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's.
I thought you were looking at the daily chart.
I was, but I scaled back, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know why it dropped. Was there earnings? It just looks very ugly on bigger picture. So they went IPO 2007. And I know there's conversations of one airline struggling and being bought out. I just don't know financially who it is. But on monthly, definitely a bear flag. On weekly, let me just check. Yeah, so 47.35 will be key level on it from fib perspective. Let me see. Call it 48.38. So I grabbed the highest high here. But the break of this trend line, I would definitely take that. I mean, if you're going to trade it all the way to about 57.8, and then we can look at the dailies. 3 days, probably same setup everywhere yet. So yeah, I would take it over 48.38. I would take it over that and then play either the rejection of this trend line here, or if it breaks the rejection, then go to 50%. And this should probably have a few epochs here, yeah. It looks like it's most likely headed here first. Then it has another one, V shape here. And man, yeah, this level right here will be pretty deadly on it in terms of sellers showing up. So I would definitely watch this area about 51.79. It's going to be brutal for United Airlines. Does that help on UAL? I've never traded it, so I don't know the like levels by and how it moves that well. And I don't know if you're looking for shares or options. Yeah, this
I'm
would
looking
be
for
a,
options.
yeah, I would probably take it over to 61.8, to be honest. I would wait for this to break because it was nice support before. Then we broke it. We came back for a retest and went down. So yeah, over that level, then you have the 50.57, which is probably a good move on this stock for options. Apple probably gave us a nice entry today over our level. So we had initially 146, and then we had the 148.27. There's a nice demand zone being set up here. Somebody's been buying it heavily here at 148. At this level, they're really buying here. So if you're going to go long tomorrow, if you want to play the bounce on it, this would probably be the best spot tomorrow, about 148.20. So just draw your demand zone off of these two POCs. Let me make sure that I'm on 30 minutes. It's still the same. Maybe a little bit. I would go off of this demand zone tomorrow. If it dips here, I would look for some calls. I would probably start switching this week to next week, just to make sure the theta and the volatility doesn't kill your contracts quickly. Okay. And if you want to short it, 147.84 all the way to about 145.39, which is your VPOC. This will be tested very soon. And then you see that this is retail driving it. mainly driving it because there's, VPOCs are left pretty much every other day here. So VPOC, and then another VPOC, and then there's a couple of VPOCs on the upper side as well. There's one here, there's one here. So there's a lot of scared selling, and then there's a lot of retail buying. So what do you think can go wrong here? As you approach this level here, 152.5, probably not a bad idea to start swinging some puts, and then, if you have full send, pretty sure as we approach that level, you're going to be getting some full send signals on Apple itself. Okay, let's see. I mean, my main focus is going to be what we covered so far in terms of trading. I'm still watching the Z-scaler. I don't know if anyone took this when we talked about it, but it hit perfectly, pretty much all the way to the demand zone here. And I don't know if dumpster's on, but I did get filled on the shares on this. So. And we talked about this. Do you guys remember when we talked about this last Watchlist Sunday? That we were talking about hitting the 155, and if it doesn't break 155, most likely goes back to the VPOC, which it did. It did it perfectly too. So it bounced right off of this, and then continued higher. So even now, I think they have an ER. This is a great zone for buying. Probably swing here. Let's see. Earnings are May 26th. I will probably buy May 27th calls tomorrow, unless we get a huge run in the morning before we open, like a gap up. I won't. But I'll definitely watch these scalers tomorrow. I've been eyeing it, and I've added shares, 139.5. So let's see if we continue higher. But this looks like a bear pennant, but let's see if it plays out, because this was at $340 at one point. Never mind, almost $400. Okay. Alrighty. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, I'll probably head to bed. I'll be live, I believe, tomorrow. Let me confirm right now. And hopefully it's not a boring day. Yep, I'll be live tomorrow. I'll have one meeting at 3:30 tomorrow as of right now. So I'll be live with you guys, and we'll see if we can catch another couple of plays in the morning. And just remember, you're a risk manager, you're not a profit manager. Your job is to stop losing money when you're in a trade, because you're betting on yourself and your edge that you're going to make money. So if something doesn't work, it's okay to be wrong and accept it and move on into the next trade, whether it's a day or 2-3 days that it takes for your setup. You just wait. If you guys recall today, we took SPX, right? So there was our SPX, right? Do you guys remember this? I kind of sent you the two arrows at one point. I said, hey, this can go two ways. Then we shorted here. You guys remember this? The break of 40.50 here, when it happened, we shorted this and it went all the way here, but we kept scaling out. I think I got it at 3.6 and I scaled out majority at 4.6, and then I got some, maybe I'm lying, I think I got two at 4.4, but I did get one at 5.5, and that was it. But it went as high as 6.3 today on the 4,000 puts. So, and that's it. You don't need, then after that, you don't need to spend a lot of time. Your job is to kind of eliminate how much time you spend wasting on the screen. So you do a trade, couple of good trades, and then you devote an hour to study the charts and what's going on, what happened, and you come back and do the same. Your job is not to waste 12 hours trading to make $1,000 or whatever that might be. It's to lower your, to increase your hourly pay. So just keep that in mind as you're trading, right? If you made decent money, let's say you made $500 in a day, well, I mean, if you don't think it's a lot and you're greedy, go outside and see what it takes to make $500. it's a lot of hard labor. So if you make $500 with a few clicks and a little bit of intelligence, I will never say no to that. Even though some of our goals might be different, whether it's daily, monthly, weekly, but $500 still $500. Nothing wrong with making $500 a day times 5. That's $2,500 a week. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you joining, and I'll let you guys know on Sunday whether we do a morning or a night session. If you guys have a preference, let me know, and we'll cover volume profile a little bit more detail. We'll utilize some examples from Dale. We'll utilize some examples from trading here. So everybody will be on the same page on volume profile. It will solely be volume profile only. So look forward to it, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Shorty.
Okay, bye guys. And Catching Rockets, if you want to share any of the full sends or whatever, if you have time.
I haven't looked I haven't looked at any yet.
No worries, man.
All right.
Get some rest. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Later.